Good afternoon, folks. Sorry about the graphic here. Let me get it up right there. You are. How you doing, folks? It's Rob Chappell, executive editor of Madison365 with your daily update for Tuesday, November 9th. I apologize. We did not have an update yesterday. We had some technical difficulties here at the studio. Which means that we missed Metcalf's Monday. So we're going to call it Metcalf's Monday today, right? We can do one more day. Metcalf's Market is a fourth-generation family-owned and operated market with stores in Madison at Hilldale and behind the Westtown Mall and in Wauwatosa at 68th and State. They work to support local farmers and products and have over 3,500 local products on their shelves, and you can pick up for order or delivery at shopmetcalfs.com anytime, pandemic or not. You can get your groceries delivered or set aside for pickup. Also today, the update is brought to you by Quartz. At Quartz, they offer access to high-quality healthcare and innovative wellness programs to help you live your life to the healthiest. Chase your passions and follow your dreams. That's why everything they do, from the way they build their plans to every product and service they offer, is designed to get you where you want to be. Their plans and services are created to fit your lifestyle and make sure you have access to healthcare where and when you need it. At Quartz, the customers are at the center of everything they do. You can visit quartzbenefits.com or call customer service at 800-362-3310. And we appreciate Quartz and Metcalf's both for their support of Madison 365. And the update, we'll talk a little bit more later about how you can join them in supporting us. It's a very important time of year in the nonprofit news business. We'll get to that in a few minutes. First, however, boy, do the COVID numbers look bad today. I'm sorry to say they were bad yesterday. They're bad today again. 3,229 new cases reported. That's kind of like the numbers we were seeing, in September when things were pretty bad, right? We're back to that. We're at 2,295 new cases on average per day, which is like 100 more than yesterday. Like for the past couple of weeks, our 7-day average has been coming down by like 30 at a time, and suddenly we're back up by 100. It's very frustrating. The percent of positive tests is also kind of spiraling out of control a little bit. Reminding you, it's this of all the tests in the past 7 days, 9% came back positive. That number needs to be 3 to indicate that we've got this thing under control on a statewide basis. It's 9.0. We know like Dane County is well below that. We know that certain other spots in sort of north central Wisconsin are below that. We know other places are raging out of control. It's 9% is bad. What's worse is it was like 7.5 a week ago, right? We never want to look at a number in isolation. We want to look at trends. So the trend is now sharply upward on that measure. We don't like that. Hospitalizations, which had been coming down sharply, now have leveled off and are increasing. We've seen a 10% increase in hospitalizations due to COVID-19 infections in the past week. We're now up to 1,029 people currently hospitalized. That's 100 more than a week ago. That's 34 more than yesterday. I don't like that, you guys. 283 of those are in ICU care, which is a slight increase from yesterday and from a week ago, but not quite as steep as the overall population. In the entire state of Wisconsin, now we have 80 ICU beds available. That's well below 5% of the whole of all ICU beds are currently unoccupied. Not good. We were looking at 23 new confirmed deaths yesterday. That puts our 7-day average of deaths at 14, which that's never gotten as bad as I thought it would. And we peaked at about 17 a week ago or so, a little over a week ago. Although that's 14 is higher than it was yesterday, which is 13. So again, all of the numbers are going in the wrong direction. Even vaccine, we haven't seen a movement in vaccines this week at all. It's 55.1% of the state population is vaccinated. I would anticipate seeing a sharp increase there in the next 2 weeks now that we have kids getting vaccinated. I know SSM Health, for example, was out at Wanakee schools today, getting folks vaccinated. I know a lot of providers are offering weekend appointments. Yeah, we will see it. Oh wow, okay, this is encouraging. I've just discovered my good news for the day. I'm flipping over to the vaccine page. This hasn't turned up in the percentages yet. We're still at 55.1% fully vaccinated. But remember earlier, like Friday or so, we were doing 3,000 vaccine doses per day. Yesterday we did over 20,000. Our 7-day average is now 19,086, which means a lot of you are getting your kids vaccinated, which is outstanding. I'm very encouraged to see that. So yeah, we're back to that place. Last April, when we first rolled out the vaccine, we were up to like 60,000 a day, and then we've kind of just dwindled since then because everybody who wanted to get it got it right away, and then it kind of dwindled and leveled off at about 3,000 per day. Now we're up to 20,000 again. So that means a lot of kids are getting vaccinated. That's going to help push those spread numbers down. It's just inevitable. It will. We're now at 58.1% have had at least one shot. Okay, so that's the COVID situation. Again, all the numbers are bad except for that vaccine number. So keep getting kids vaccinated. I mean, I will be the first to say we're getting our kids done this weekend. Very excited about that, actually. So that's good. Also keeping in mind that it does help to have vaccines available through schools, but there are still going to be access issues, right? We're still seeing racial disparities in those vaccine distributions. We're still seeing Black and brown folks much less likely to be vaccinated. So, because, and here's why, like there's many reasons, obviously, it's complex issues. But for a lot of us, getting vaccinated is inconvenient, right? You got to go make an appointment. You got to go to the appointment. You're knocked down for a day often. And same thing for your kids, taking your kids to the doctor twice. It's a pain. It's inconvenient. But for a lot of us, it's merely inconvenient. For a lot of folks, it's really genuinely difficult and almost impossible if you don't have time off of work. If you don't have paid time off and you go get a shot and you got to be out for 3 days, that's money you're losing. And you could lose your job, right? So for those of us that are merely inconvenient, it's our duty, I think. If you don't mind my preaching a little bit. It's our duty. If it's merely inconvenient for us to get it and to get our kids to get it, it's our job, it's our duty to the community for those people who have a harder time, right? Because when I get vaccinated, I protect myself and everybody I come in contact with. That's how it works. So keep getting vaccinated. Stay with us. I got some really fun stories for you after the break. It's not all bad news today. We got the bad news on the COVID numbers. We got the good news on the vaccines. But we got some fun stories to talk about and some genuinely good news coming right after the break, which we'll get to right after this word from Madison College.
Apply yourself. At Madison College, we encourage you to be your truest self. You're a trendsetter. Whether it's the clothes you're wearing, the music you're listening to, or the new game you're playing, you're into it first. Friends and family seek your advice because you're a natural-born leader. For you, life is all about taking things to the next level. And at Madison College, we can't wait to see what you do. Apply yourself today.
All right, thanks for sticking with me. Today, this is actually yesterday, your Milwaukee Bucks visited the White House. This is the first NBA champion team to visit the White House since, I believe, 2016. Most NBA players and teams opted not to meet with the former president. And but the Bucks went and met with Joe Biden and others. What's hilarious about this picture is like these guys are not short. These dudes over here, like I don't know if you can see these guys. And the president of the United States is not short. But look at Giannis over here. Look at how tall he's just so huge. Oh, I just love that so much. Also today, we have Reese Gaines. If you've been around Madison for a while, you remember Reese Gaines. Played for Madison West. He was a high recruit. I want to say 3 or 4 star recruit out of Madison West. And I went to Louisville. Started all 4 years in Louisville. He's been on a coaching path since then, and he's returned to his alma mater at Louisville. He's the new director of player personnel there and student engagement and that kind of stuff there in Louisville. So terrific news for him, and I think he's well on his way. If you knew him at all, he's the kind of kid he's gonna be a coach. He's gonna be like an NCAA coach one day. That's the kind of guy he is. So good for him taking the next step on that path. Also today we have a conversation. Our reporter Angelica Usuri spoke with Victor Velacrez, who is the new board chair of the Wisconsin Latino Chamber of Commerce. This is a big deal. We reported a couple of months ago now, I think, that the Dane County Latino Chamber of Commerce has become the Wisconsin Latino Chamber of Commerce. They have expanded statewide, or they're in the process, rather, of expanding statewide. So to get a new board chair on to kind of help steer that expansion and that growth is an important moment. And Victor is he's been around Madison's Latino community for ages and ages. He was the former board chair at Centro Hispano. He's the commercial and development real estate director at Hovde Properties. So just, kind of a really important guy in terms of real estate development around Dane County, and is now taking over as board chair. So he talked with Angelica about his thoughts, his goals, his vision for that organization as it goes forward and grows. Also today, I've got one of my favorite stories of the year. Matthew Teague is a Madison magician. We did a story on him. I discovered this guy. I didn't discover him. He became known to me, my daughter's 4K back in like 2017, 18, somewhere in there. And he was performing, doing a magic show at their like 4K graduation. And this is Wisconsin. This is how you know I live in Wisconsin. I had never seen in person a black magician. So I was like, I got to do a story on this guy. So, and our reporter, Malik Anderson, who's still with us, as you know, his first story for Madison365 was profiling Matthew Teague back in 2018. Well, Matthew, I saw him pop up on Facebook, was on the Penn and Teller show, Penn and Teller Fool Us, wherein magicians go to Las Vegas and perform for Penn and Teller and try to fool them. Try to see if they can get one past a couple of the greatest magicians of all time. So Matthew went and performed in July, couldn't say anything about it, had to keep it a secret, and it was just on TV this past Friday. And it's fantastic. Unfortunately, CBS, which owns the CW, has not made the clip available for YouTube yet. So you have to actually watch it on the CW website, which only works about half the time. So unfortunately, I wish I could just show you the video. Maybe here's what we'll do. I'll see if Matthew will just come on the show next week and do the trick that he did. But it's a coin trick where he's got 4 coins on a table and he's making them disappear and he's making them move from one hand to the other. It's a tribute to David Roth, who invented this trick, and Matthew basically improved on it. But it's fun. It's a really fun story. I love these kind of stories where you get a guy from Madison, grew up here, lived here forever, and is making it big. He does perform every weekend at the Ho-Chunk Gaming Casino up in Black River Falls. So you can actually see him there. He's not on stage. He's like walking among the people and doing little tricks, but he does the close-up magic. So it's like really hard to do, right? Because you're right there. You can't. It's hard to do magic close up like that, and he does it. So it's a fun story. If you can get the video to work, that's great. If not, we'll try to have him on sometime. He's just a really fun guy to talk to. All right, so I promised that I would mention how you can support us. It is news match time, which means all donations to nonprofit news organizations that are participating in Madison, there are 2 or 3 that you can support. Tone Madison, Madison365, Wisconsin Watch, all participate. And if you make a donation to a nonprofit news organization in November and December, there's a coalition of foundations that will match it through the Institute for Nonprofit News. Our new program, last year I just came out here and said to give us donations, but we have something new this year. We have the FAM, which is our new membership program. I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to fiddle with this graphic so you can actually see that. There you go. And I'll put a link in the comments too. Why not? So make it easy for you. This is a monthly donation program. Here's the thing. When we launched back in 2015, we made a conscious decision never to charge money for the news, because you need to be informed. This community needs to be informed, especially about the kind of things we cover, which nobody else covers, or at least nobody else was covering at that time. Like we couldn't in good conscience say we're going to commit to covering communities of color, but we're going to charge you for it. It just ethically doesn't work for us. Right. So, but we know there are some of you who could pay $5 a month for a subscription. If we had a subscription or a paywall where you had to pay $10 a month, $5 a month, $25 a month, there are a handful of you who could do that and who would, right? If that's you, now you can voluntarily. And what that does then is allows us to make it free for everybody else. Remember how I talked about like me getting vaccinated helps other people, right? You paying for the news helps other people who can't, right? And it helps us do it. And as I've mentioned many times, we don't really have overhead. We don't pay for an office. We don't have a bunch of devices. Like we run this whole like online enterprise off of Chromebooks for the most part. You know, we just everything you give us gets invested back into the journalism, right? It's free for you. It's not free for us, right? We pay pretty well. We pay our reporters. I talked about Malik. I talked about Angelica. Dave Dahmer has a story today. Naomi, we see every few days, right? We pay them because they're professionals and they do good work. We don't do unpaid internships here. You know, we just don't do it. And the only reason we can do that is because we have your support. We have the support of the community to create good community journalism, professional community journalism. So hit that button, hit that link, jump in at $5 a month. And here's the thing. Newsmatch matches your entire yearly commitment. I'll say that again. You go in for $5 a month, right? You're basically promising to give us $60 over the course of the year. Newsmatch gives us another $60. No questions asked. We send in a report in January, say how many new members we got and what their annual commitment is, and they just write us a check for that amount. That's it. It's that simple. So you commit at $10 a month, they give us $120. That's it. It's that easy, and your impact then is double. Right? If you join now during November or December, your impact is doubled. There's just no easier way to say it. So thank you for listening to that pitch. That's enough of a pitch for today. You'll hear, that's not the only pitch I'm going to make. I mean, you're going to hear it again. I'm going to bother you with it a few times. But if you would do that, we would appreciate it very much. And you know, you do that and let us know that you did that, you know, shoot us an email or something. I will give you a shout out on this show. Without a doubt. Okay. That's not an official member benefit, but if you leave us a note that you joined because of this show, I will unquestionably 100% I will shout you out on this show. All right. Well, listen, have a great evening, everybody. I appreciate you tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll have the It's Only 10 Minutes podcast in the morning, and we will have I'll be back with the update tomorrow afternoon, internet service willing. All right. Have a great evening. We'll talk to you soon.
This is 365 Media.